Now, so yesterday I drove through here, and I'm saying, man, there's so much trash. They need to get they really should have trash cans, and so things can be cleaned up. And then I'm driving to work this morning down this route. They cleaned it up. How clean it is. I mean, not, you know, really, but it's compared to what it was. Was that by design? Were they scheduled to clean? Was it something I said? Because this is the heart. Right in the heart of the heroin hub. Like, even they got brooms and stuff. They may have been handing out brooms, but I still don't see trash cans. I mean, there's one there. You got the lean going on. I've never understood. Like, that guy's leaning over. If you shoot up and you get so high, here goes one here. This one's walking backwards. Why don't you just sit down? Watch over the fence. Watch out. What? No, you're going backwards. Why don't you just have a seat? Like, if you're that damn high and you're leaning forward, or like that guy yesterday that was breaking his neck going backwards, you would think you would just take a seat so you don't. So you don't fall over. Can't believe I used to live down here. Like, right in this area. Not directly under the L, but like 4 blocks that way was one spot, 2 blocks in that direction, 7 blocks down there. Now, they're not going to actually get all of it cleaned up. He's got a lean going on. This guy's got a plumber crack going on. But hey, pull your pants up. But yeah, look how clean it is. All I did was spoke up yesterday, and all of a sudden I seen, like, I mean, there was literally like 10 people over here, 10 people over there, cleaning up, sweeping up, trash bags. trash cans, dumpster, a big truck. See, they can't get everything because this is where like mainly all the people are hanging out. So, and that could have also taken place just within a 24-hour period. It's the most traffic right here. Is that a subway hub station? See, he got the right idea. At least he's getting low to the ground. But that one right there, is reaching for something. Is that a payphone? It can't possibly work. Ah, and he got up. Clean that. I haven't seen that clean in a long time. There's the gate 3222. It's the last place my dad lived before he died. He went to squat. Because then he went to my sister's, and then about 3 days later is when he passed on. They did a pretty good job of cleaning up. I'll give it to the whoever did that. This is a little bit nicer of a neighborhood. Juniata. Closer towards the northeast. Because when I had the ability to make money, I moved to Port Richmond, and then I moved up to the northeast, and then I finally moved to Bristol, and then I moved to Hatboro. And then I moved to Warminster, and now I'm in Warrington. Warring. I realized I can't help everybody. I'm sure I've said some things before, like, if I was in charge, the world would be perfect. No, it won't be perfect. It'll never be that, but you can make it less miserable. You really can. But I guess that's why I had to be thought of, created, live down here on this earth, be the boots on the ground while other people are acting, and I really do walk it out, and I show you what it's like to live amongst the dead. Because I think some of you guys that are on YouTube, you're not really here. I don't think you're really even here on Earth. I think you're up higher. Or if you are here on Earth, I think you don't live in the slums, and you probably never had a bad day in your life. So if I ever did have say publicly, like if I ever had say in what goes on, well, then you'll see examples like you've seen. If I do a comparison from yesterday's video showing you the same, driving by the same spot yesterday and today, and at least it's cleaned up. Like, that's one thing that can be done. It can at least be cleaned up. Now, you don't have to go around wiping people's asses all the time either and clean up after them, but, you know, bums aren't gonna, they're not gonna really be motivated to clean themselves and keep things organized. But you can at least have some more trash cans around, because I don't understand why you just don't have more trash cans around. It would have saved a lot of time, really. Those men that came around this morning cleaning up, there was a bunch of them, but they wouldn't have had to have cleaned up that much if they would have had trash cans all up and down the you know, the sidewalks. And then where does everybody go to the bathroom at? Maybe you should start putting some porta potties along the sides there too, because it's not like the government needs to make money. It's not like you don't have everybody at your fingertips, everybody on Earth. It's like they eventually work at some point or another. They have a job to do. So there's always people available. And when you run the planet and you control the money and the system and everything, you can easily have people do whatever. So why not put up some porta potties along Kensington Ave? What is it going to hurt anybody? The companies come around, they on job sites, they clean it, they take it wherever they take it, they recycle it, or I don't know what you guys really do with it. I never exactly looked into waste management. And then while you're at it, just start cutting off the heroin supply that comes over to the United States of America. And then start cutting off the crack supply and the cocaine, and just really stop letting the drugs come over here in America. Is it because Adam is asleep? Is that what it is? Adam, were you asleep at one point? Now you're waking up? Because if you look at the map, the United States map, the landscape, it shows a face that looks like a man that has an Adam's apple, but also has hair like a woman, and then right underneath its nose, in front of it, there's this other beast creature, reptilian, riding the entire beast system all the way down to Florida. When I was in Walmart yesterday, I just looked at the one aisle. There's like 1 million cases of candy. There's like 1 million Walmarts. There's 1 million of those aisles that are just like that, stacked with just one aisle of candy, and then another aisle stacked with TVs, and another aisle with couches and chairs, and this is everywhere, all throughout the world. There's so much supply that's created and set out on shelves, and there's millions of people, and just there's so much of everything, so that it's not like the system can't do what I'm saying that you ought to do. The system can do it. It's just the leaders have been greedy and selfish and demonically possessed by an evil spirit. So that's my request down here on earth, is do things like that. Keep people from door dashing at you. If I'm in charge, just know that gang stalking and door dashing comes to a complete halt, and you're gonna get it. You're gonna have to get a different job, because those 3 kings right there. Well, I know that there's 3 wise men. There's also the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. They get thrown alive into the lake of fire, because what they do is, in modern day terms, they decide to push play on a video of somebody's channel that has a lake of fire that goes through. So that what they do is they push the button voluntarily, and then as they push that button, they decide to jump into that lake alive as they're burning the beast, the dragon, and the false prophet. It's a choice. They chose to do it. Do they really live on Earth, or do they just control Earth? I'm sure you guys have visited this Earth. I mean, it's your backyard, ain't it? Is it one channel with 3? Is it the 3 of yous on the channel that has the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet? Someday I'll know the truth. Someday it'll be great to have people to minister to you, where they don't have, there's no more restriction. No more restriction. No more, it's not necessary to talk in tongues anymore. It's a clear language. It's called the truth, and nothing but it. So it's nothing but the truth. You can speak it. The dragon, the beast, and the false prophet have already been thrown alive in the lake of fire. You already see it happening. But because the time isn't yet, the end isn't yet, you'll hear of wars and rumors of wars. Yeah, it's gonna always seem like, if you watch the Jonathan Kleck channel, It's going to seem like that second 9/11 is going to happen tomorrow every single time, just about. As many predictions as I've given, I've proven that. I've proven that I perceived this event was going to take place in Philadelphia, and it never did. It sounds like something's going to take place to start off 2023 with a big bang. It sounds that way, but I feel like I was just supposed to see it, and I don't know, maybe it was going to happen, and then now it doesn't. Now, because once it started, the world was going to truly end for all of us. Like, no more nothing. And they were just going to be done with us and wipe us out. But maybe they had a change of heart and decide, you know what? Let's just not destroy literally, because it's already happened in spirit to us. But let's just make it seem like it will all the way up until the very end. And then it doesn't. The only reason why I've been impatient about it is because, you know, when I was like 5, 6, 7, I remember, no, 5 or 6, 4 or 5 or 6. I remember being in Florida, and I remember one time I looked up at the sky and just looking at, I don't remember where I was over like maybe a different neighborhood that seemed nice houses, and maybe it was a friend's house, or I don't know what I was really doing at 4 or 5. But I have roamed around on my own a lot when I was young. But I remember feeling that feeling, like looking up at the moment, like, wow, life is so awesome. And then that feeling went away real quick as a child. Me as a child, there wasn't anything going on, nothing. There was nothing going on in my life. My dad wasn't there. He was, well, I don't remember him really. I don't remember him until I was about 10. I don't actually remember really seeing my dad until I was about 10 years old. Because when I was 3, so before I can even remember my thoughts, my dad was in jail. And then I was born in Florida until I was 5, 6 years old. So he was in jail. And then we moved up to Philadelphia from 7, 8, 9, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, Richmond Elementary in Port Richmond. So I lived with my mom, my 2 brothers, my sister, older sister, my other sister, Dawn. She had her boyfriend, so she was out, and my other sister, but she didn't move in with him yet. And then for some reason my mom packed up and we all headed to Florida. Me, Billy, and Mike, and my mom. And we went down there, and then for that 1 year we lived there. I was 10 till 11. I went to Jesse King Elementary in Florida, Lakeland. Never lived in Bartow, so again, why was I born in Bartow when I lived in Lakeland? Maybe it's just Lakeland Medical Center was only for people that had money or better insurance. It's the only thing I can really think of. Instead of going 4.1 miles to be delivered, my mom had to drive 14.1 miles. My dad used to trip on mushrooms a lot. I heard he was tripping on acid when I was born. Maybe that's why he went and robbed a convenience store or something. I don't know. really what the story was. So I see my dad with my stepmom in Florida, basically for the first time, 10 years old, really. Because when we were living in Philly, he was living in Florida. And then we moved up to Philly when I was 10, or about 11. And then that's when I moved in. Me and my brothers moved in with my stepmom and my dad in Port Richmond. And then I went to Forest Elementary from about 11 to 12. And then we moved to Fishtown. And I went to, I forget the school. I only went there like from 8th grade. I didn't even finish going all the years. Somehow I graduated. And then I never went to high school whatsoever. Because I committed crimes, I got locked up and ran, and they had my school records, and then I was on the run for a couple years, and I finally got caught when I was 16 trying to steal a car, and then went to Slayton Farms in Lima, PA for 8 months, and then graduated, got my GED. Basically went in. All the people I seen when I left. I got in, got out, GED, went to the 2-year junior college in Lancaster, and became a carpenter, and started working when I was 19 years old with a certificate, a degree, a diploma. So I skipped a lot of years of being brainwashed with the schooling. What exactly are you even doing? Going in to the parking lot. So what exactly is it that I was doing? Just winging it, really. I don't know. Never felt comfortable. Always had bad teeth. Was afraid to go to the dentist at certain times. Didn't want to smile. Had bad teeth. Didn't have no confidence. When I finally got my teeth fixed, my hair fell out when I was 17 or 19. 17. My hair started falling out when I went to the Masonic school. I think I got sabotaged. I don't know. Maybe the guy that he was my roommate, some black guy. His name was Tate. He was from the same lockup facility. Matter of fact, me and him worked at Pizza Hut off campus when we were locked up. And we were the only two that took the test to go to that school. And he was my roommate. And they called him Spotty because he had a spot on his forehead. Kind of like me, but not really. More prominent, like a square or something. So they called him Spotty. After a couple weeks, he decided he wasn't coming back. So he had this Mickey Mouse sweatshirt in the closet. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know if he's not coming back. So I wore it on my home pass. And I came back over the weekend, and all my shit was stolen. Even my drawer full of underwear and socks. I'm like, what the hell? Stole my Nintendo or Atari, I forget what we had. And he said he stole it because I took his Mickey Mouse shirt. I borrowed it. I didn't steal it. I was just wearing it because he didn't come back. But anyway, he left a big bottle of shampoo, Head and Shoulders. I should have known better. I'm thinking, well, at least he left me something. Is there something you can put in shampoo that can make someone go bald for life? So that way I can match the RoboCop down there in Florida with the bald head? I mean, who knows? So basically, that's my story from birth to 19 years old. I feel like I've been gang stalked from the beginning. I wonder if my life has a purpose. I wonder if I was meant to do exactly what it is that I'm doing. I wonder if my life was, you know how people are accidents? It's not like my son was planned. He may have been planned, but not by me. I didn't plan on having him. But as soon as I heard that my kid's mom was pregnant, I said, all right, well, I'm going to have a son. Because I just knew it was going to be a boy that I was going to have. But yeah, he could have been planned by her and other powers that be, because I was kicking her out of my life. And for the first time, being with her after like 3 or something, 4 years, maybe 6, I forget how long. I was with her for a long time. She didn't get pregnant. All of a sudden, right? All of a sudden. All of a sudden. So whose lives are actually planned? I heard my sister Dawn's life was planned out, but my oldest sister Barb wasn't. So Billy and Mike weren't planned either, but was I? Was I planned by the powers that be? Because it sure seems like it seems like my life has been, I don't know, recorded from birth and on, like the Truman Show. Just by the unusual circumstances that I've come across. There's a feeling that I can't experience it yet. Although it's there, but it's like locked in a cage in my spirit. It hasn't been unlocked yet. It's there. It's an overwhelming feeling of man, life is awesome. It's an overwhelming feeling that I had when I was a kid. Back when I first started, I guess it was when I first started to remember things. Because I'm thinking, wow, this is awesome. Life, this is so awesome. Even though nothing was going on. But then my life became, would say boring, but there was just no real activities going on. So I grew up in a family that has 2 sisters, 2 older sisters, and 2 older brothers. So I'm the youngest out of the 5. And my sister Barb and Dawn, they said that, well, they didn't know. They thought I would be, they were expecting a girl. And my name was going to be Pearl if I was a girl. So then I'm wondering, well, I wonder if this is a twin system where maybe my mom really had 10 children, but didn't say anything about giving up the firstborn. Because how do I know? I wasn't there. Maybe you give up the firstborn, but then this time around, it's like, you know, yeah, the firstborn goes up to the elite. This time around, I was the firstborn, like Esau, and Jacob stole my birthright. And he's the one that went up to be the rich elite, but yet he's the demonically possessed evil one, and I'm the one that has the Christ spirit down here. And it's something for me to find out. But that, man, I'm gonna tell you, I got I got so many different movie scripts that I can write that would be, I think they would be blockbuster movies. Just with because you know what it is, the things that I say, right? People have thought in their head, even as you are rolling your eyes now, because that Antichrist spirit is still dwelling in you. But those thoughts that I have about these things that happen in my life possibly can be really good movie scripts. Because it's very interesting to have that happen. Like The Secret Life, just the way things are, especially the Gang Stalking Corporation, and just how things can be. Like your wife could be cheating on you every single day, and she could be sleeping with someone in your own bed and taking a shower in your own shower stall, and then when you come home, it's like nobody's even there and it's a phantom. And you would never know, because the same way the Gang Stalking Corporation is so precise with their timing, and they know your every move, well, it's just about laughing in your face. So I say, you love your enemies anyway, even if they're in your own household. Even if your wife is cheating on you, or your husband's cheating on you, and it's like you have a suspicion, but you can't prove it, and it's like, okay, Johnny, honey, I'm going to go out and have sex. Okay, Johnny. Yeah. Or maybe the solution is you just stop having sex, and then there's no chance of catching anything. Thou shalt not lie with a woman. But yeah, the movie scripts that I have in my head already, that I've already made movies. I make movies. When I go home and sit in front of the computer, I produce movies. Like almost every night, I'll produce a movie, a series, day after day. And it's just a continuance of One Life to Live, or General Hospital, because that's literally where I was born at. General Hospital. General Hospital. Not in Gardner, Mary, right across from Lakeland Regional Lakeside Courtyard Palace, but you know, General Mills. Like the name of a General Mills cereal is the Bobo brand of, say, Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch, General Mills. General Mills Swirls is like the Bobo brand. I'm so used to living life in General Millsville, that anything that, when I move on up, I feel like the Jeffersons moving on up. So from birth to 10 years old, didn't really know my dad. Now, I had a stepdad, David, which is funny. David, my stepdad. Hey, go figure. Go figure. David Lip Ham. So I guess he was from the house of Ham. He was with my mom. He also went to jail for a while. He was a Seminole Indian. You couldn't really understand. He got into a lot of fights. He got beat up a lot because he got drunk and got stupid, and people would just punch him in his nose. And he couldn't really. He was a good, really good-hearted dude. He used to give me money here and there for just being poor, and I appreciate it. And then he gave me a job at Wilson Beef when I was about 14, I think. 15, 16-ish. But from the time that I can remember, and this isn't, I'm not mad at my mom for anything. I don't hold grudges. I know she watches videos from time to time and hears some things, but she doesn't really understand what I'm saying, really. But at some point you will, I guess. Or maybe you do understand what I'm saying. But Xanax was a big part of her life. Depression, a big part of her life. Grudges, big part of her life. Never getting over things. Never really forgiving or forgetting. That only will torment you, anybody, if you do that. So as I'm growing up, and my two sisters, they're on their own with their boyfriends. My two brothers, they would always hang out with each other and basically run away from me and leave me alone because they didn't really want to hang with me. They claimed they didn't want me to get in trouble, which I can understand, but at the same time, my mom was usually sleeping because she was depressed and just took her Xanax and went to sleep. So what I did as a kid was just roamed around on my own. When I was 7 to 9 living in Port Richmond, I roamed around with this kid who was older than me, like 13 years old. And that's why I had that one troll account named Carl Can't Afford, because his name was Carl Ford. I was born at a hospital that has a Ford dealership right next to it. And Skip was talking about the Ford yesterday, and I didn't even realize it, as he was talking about that guy that found the problem with the generator and marked the X and charged $10,000, and he charged $1 for the X mark, and then I think $9,999 to show you where the mark, where the X goes. And on top of the roof of the Ford dealership is a number 1. So I caught that as I was watching it this morning. But anyway, the kid's name is Carl Can't Afford. I'm roaming the streets that night, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm over his house. The one time I fell on my head, I banged my head, split my head wide open. And I think he was trying to like patch it together. And I remember a couple times I just fell on my head. I'm running down the alleyway, I fell on my head. That's why I got a permanent lump on my head. I got a big, well, as far as I know, in my head it's a permanent lump. The one time we were playing 1, 2, 3, You're My Man of Bracy Locks, that game. And I remember going up and down these stairs, this bar stairs on Belgrade, I think the street was. And my brother said I passed out and just slammed my head on the ground. I'm just wondering if that was the time where I got sedated and then all of a sudden they did some kind of surgery on me or something and kept me asleep for months and then put me back in place as if nothing happened. That would be the weirdest freaking thing, right? Insert you with some kind of brain chip. They do surgery on you. They leave you sleeping in a coma for a couple months, and then when you finally wake up, they amnesia dust, and then you wake up again. But yeah, I fell on my head. I was like 6. So I don't really remember doing anything really normal as a child because I was always by myself. I roamed the streets 6, 7, 8, 9. I remember one time I went to Toys R Us, and I think, yeah, I stole my mom's book of food stamps, or maybe I stole some money out of her purse or something. Forget what it was. I stole some food stamps and then cashed them in and got some change. And I went to Toys R Us and I bought a pair of shorts. And she asked where I got it from. And I told her I stole it. I stole the shorts. Like, I lied to her and told her I stole it because I didn't want to tell her that I bought it. How unusual. So needless to say, I'm not a normal child. I'm not from this planet. I don't think I am. I don't really think I'm from here. Because people, I don't need friends. I don't even want friends. Unless it's like you guys that are my friends in spirit, that, not the fake ones from the beginning that were acting like my friends and then these all turned on me. That was fake friends. But after it's all said and done, I'm sure you guys would be really good friends because you no longer have that slave collar around you and I freed you. But you had to attack me and, you know, crucify me and all that stuff. Play that role on the YouTube platform. Because your boss owns your ass. But I take the abuse and the beating in order to set you free. And yeah, that can really turn out to be some really good friends. But in the meantime, I don't hang out with anybody. I don't want to. I don't have time for it anyway. My main friend is my wife, whether she's part of the organization or not, just like everybody else. Doesn't matter. I've had some really good conversations with her. And if you can see me straight through her eyes and listen to me through her ears, so be it, Lucifer. If I've developed a relationship with Satan through my wife's eyes and ears, then that was the way it was supposed to be. But yeah, everybody has shown me their tactics. Everybody. There's really not one person that hasn't shown me a tactic. And everybody that has shown me a tactic, and you do watch my video, but maybe you don't say you do or act like you still don't, you know the tactics you do, and you know that I see them. Because most of them are just a hurry up shuffle into the kitchen to kind of just be there in your way. Just to be there. Or let's say you're having a party or something and you go around the one side to maybe throw some trash out, and then subject A, who was in the same area, shuffled quickly into the kitchen just to be there to show his tactic and his dedication to his master, or, you know, her master. And that's the way it is in this world for now. I know it sounds ridiculous for those of you that watch my videos and you're part of it, and you're part of, you know, maybe you're part of my family or a friend that knows me or somebody, and it just sounds like poor Robin. He just doesn't get it, does he? He thinks something's going to change in this world. Nothing's ever going to. We're always going to run it. We're always going to be doing our tactics to you, Robin. Well, no, you're not. I promise you, at some point, you're not going to. You're not going to have to anymore. Because the one that runs you is either A, no longer an evil son of a bitch from the gate and doesn't care about people, or B, is going back to his place and getting kicked the hell out of this earth. It's one or the other. Either way, what I'm telling you is the spirit that runs the planet is getting cast out of the earth. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, for Satan has come down to you, having great wrath, knowing that his time is short. What does that tell you? It tells you that when all things are being revealed like they are now to the people that run the planet, and the confirmation is between them and myself, that means Satan was cast out of heaven, literally and in spirit. So then he has to come down to the earth. And what is he doing while he's on earth? Well, he's trying to get as many souls as he possibly can to hell with him. While we're here on earth, he's trying to get as many people to follow him to go to hell with him. So there may be this major event that takes place, and then all of a sudden, you see all these people on the road, they all disappear because they fled from the fear of the noise. And then they went into the underground bunkers, and maybe population control is real. Maybe they really do gas them and get rid of them and kill them to eliminate the population. And then the meek inherit the earth, the ones that didn't flee, the ones that didn't run. Is there people that aren't gang stalkers? Because it's really hard to believe that there's people that aren't. It just seems like everybody is. But if everybody is, you gang stalk each other all the time? There goes that horn again that should be ripped out of that car and shoved up the person's ass. Or at least in their mouth. Peace on earth. Yeah, right, Robin. Oh, what is your retirement plan? YouTube? Oh man, how are you going to retire from YouTube, Robin? Huh? How are you going to do that? Watch. Just watch and be patient, and you'll see. It's amazing that the way that the energy is gone since I started the YouTube platform, what I've known almost from the beginning, and you know, a lot of times I joke around and say certain things like I'm gonna rule this and take that and be a ruler over here, but then I sure feel like that's actually going to happen. So it's the faith that I keep talking about. And then when I show things like where I'm born and where I come from, and there's confirmation of others saying things that they actually know things about me before I was even born. Which means my life was actually designed and planned out. Therefore, I lose all the anger of just everybody who has been lying and keeping secrets, because you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. Yeah, is it annoying when Steve and James Deshawn lies about me all the time? At times it's like, all right, just enough. Because basically, I don't know the timing. I know it's going to end at some point, but enough is enough. But if he didn't lie about me, if he didn't strike me, if he didn't whip me with the cords as many times, if gang stalking wasn't stalled tactics just at every imaginable corner, I would never grow in the knowledge and understanding that, oh, I'm just being groomed to take over. I can't take over as a child and being immature, and not, my intellect's not that high and I can't see spiritual things, and I'm being groomed to take over. So if all that stuff didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have grown up to rule. And that's what's going to happen. So just deal with it, people. You'll thank God later on when it happens, and you'll say, well, thank God that Robin is a very forgiving and understanding, very discerning of spiritual things, and thank God for that, because I do. Even though God doesn't even seem like he's even a real thing. Because all the people on earth What are you really doing when you're praying for something? Does it come true? Well, sometimes it does. Like 5 years later. Okay, well then what's the real point of praying? Who are you praying to? If you don't pray out loud, who's going to hear your prayer? God? What if God doesn't even exist and the Elohims, their purpose is to actually create God on earth through a human being, and then they raise that person up to become their God? Like, what if that's what they're really doing? And all this time, like, I just wonder, is that... Matthew Daly said that Jesus was praying to himself. And he did it, you know, just to show the people or whatever. And then he became their God. So if he's praying to himself, but it's not like he's the creator God of the flesh, because that's Satan. He was the creator of the spirit, the new spirit that for the first time ever, people have that spirit indwelled in them. And then what if the Bible was written to be a future fulfillment prophecy telling stories, and it's not even something that actually took place 2,000 years ago? It took place 2,000 days ago. Like, what if that was the actual truth? And here we are now in that time, living in that time. What if we were all lied to about everything? What if I will prove it in the near future? You think that's possible? FedEx? Federal X? Oh, look. Packages. You think some of his packages are going to fall out? If I was a thief, I'd probably run up and tell that person, you need to close your door and not steal it. Now, I also wonder, is that a gang stalking tactic, just to do that, to stall me? Because either way, it doesn't, none of it phases me anymore. It used to. I told my brother, I said, look, I see the tactics. I'm not, it's not like, I'm not paranoid of any of it. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm protected. I look at it as I have CIA agents everywhere at every given point in time, guiding, escorting me to the door. You know, if I get out of my truck carrying my tools, that they're always going to be there, just to basically like say, hi King, even though they don't know that. But it's true, because the leaders of this world have been watching my every move from birth, but mainly the past couple years, intently, even more. And I know it's true, and they do too, because it's true, because I'm talking to you. You're looking at me right now through the camera, through my truck, at however many different ways you can see through me, like the Truman Show. And you're listening to me before I even upload this video to the people that can't hear me right now. There's spirits that are in charge, that are in certain vessels, that hear me at this exact moment before you get to hear me in the future when I upload this video. And because of that, I've learned to be myself. But I had to find myself. I had to find who I am. What am I even really doing here? But once you know you're surveilled and watched 24/7 through your own eyeballs, everything you do, every moment of the day, well, there's always going to be personal things that takes place. And okay, so this is my life. This is what you see. If you don't like what you see, turn the channel, because I'm going to be myself no matter what. Because that has been my problem my entire life. Robin, what's wrong with you? But nothing. Why aren't you talking? Even at the party that I went to, the Christmas, my wife's son's mother-in-law, future, her dad and her sisters, my stepson's future wife, her dad, and her sister's boyfriend. They're like the loud ones. They're like they're the rowdy. We were watching the Eagles game. I don't miss watching it at all. Matter of fact, I don't even think I'll ever watch another game. Because the kid, her boyfriend is a Dallas fan, and the father and everybody else is an Eagles fan. So there's all this hoopla and yelling of things, and it's just a stupid ass game that's all scripted anyway. Because I predicted the Eagles would win the Super Bowl exactly the way it did, and then from that point on I stopped watching it. I learned that everything's scripted. But it's the same thing, like, oh, you guys are awfully quiet over there. I don't small talk. I'm not a small talker, so I'm perfectly okay with just thinking to myself. And then, so that's the way I am. I'm not a obnoxiously loud person that needs attention and has to yell and scream at things and talk small things. I like to talk about what I'm talking about now and just push the record button and let everybody hear that. Devils roll the dice and angels roll their eyes. I know a lot of people roll their eyes with me. I don't get offended at it. I'm not mad at you for it, because how can you have to understand, I'm the one saying these things, and I'm the one with the faith, knowing that it's going to take place at a certain time. And so how would you believe me? What I'm telling you has never happened before. It's never happened before. This earth has never been free. We've never been free. The Bible talks about Egypt being let free. No, the hell, it's never been let free. That's a future fulfillment that's coming. It's never happened in my lifetime. It's never happened, and I don't remember ever being born before. I don't believe I have amnesia. But yeah, I may have my dad may be in heaven. My father, you see, my earthly father is dead. While he was living on earth, didn't really do much with him. Wasn't really a good dad. Was an okay dad, you know, stepdad, whatever. But I feel like my true father is a heavenly father. And I may even be a different... Look at the... You know, this is such a gang stalking move. You can't see it, but that truck has its reverse lights embedded in the brake lights. And it's so bright. It's like that super bright LED reverse light gang stalking truck that the taillights just need to be shot. And the driver needs to be slapped and then fired. But that's Satan's way of just being annoying. That's what Satan does. He just tries to annoy you. And he's going to stop. And then slow down, and then go, and then move, and then go. Let's see if you can see it more. They're basically just straight reverse lights. Yeah. Yep. I heard the slaves from Egypt don't really want to be set free. I heard that. Tough shit. You're going to be, so deal with it. It's funny that I don't even really know the Bible inside and out, but I get to walk it, live it, fulfill it. I get to walk it out and get that fulfilled feeling of living it and walking it out. I get to be fulfilled in it because I see it being fulfilled. I used to think other people are going to do something about it. And then I learned that you have to do something about it, Robin. It's up to you. Use your superpower, Robin superpowers that Batman is jealous of. But in real life, I don't wear tights. I don't do the tights thing. You know, the funny thing about Batman and Robin, I don't even really know what Robin does. I never even really watched Batman and Robin cartoons to really even see what Robin does. I've just never been into it. Same thing with Robin Hood. I never really even watched those movies or cartoons about him. But yet, I'm living that out with that name that I was named. I didn't name myself. It's just it's what they named me. It's what they said my name would be. Robin Henry Tees. And then Henry Ford, he has a dealership right next to the hospital that I was born at. With the number 1 on the roof. And I came into YouTube. All ones. Everything was all ones. 11 years, 11 months, 11 days after Joel Karim uploaded the first YouTube video with a 1 minute, 11-second video. 1 month, 11 months and 1 day later, Matthew Daly crucified me with 111 subscribers.